Hello and welcome back together to a quick weekend market update. S&P 500, US oil, gold and Bitcoin are on the list, starting with the weekly down to the daily and 4-hour time frame so that you know what to do in the markets the week ahead. Let's start directly with the S&P 500 index. Here S&P 500 on the weekly, you can see we are in a stable uptrend, higher highs and higher lows that follow each other. At the moment, it seems like we could have seen here a double top, and with the MACD divergence see a correction a little bit larger like we have seen in the past, or we'll continue this uptrend. That's what I am prepared for with this long trade, but more to that at the daily time frame. You can see that we had a weekly correction, then a couple of daily impulses to the upside, then another weekly correction, and now my prediction is that we are starting a new weekly impulse out of a couple of daily impulses and corrections to the upside. Because of that, I'm already in a long trade after I have seen a break to new all-time highs here. Stop loss is below the last local low, and I think if we exceed that one to the lower side, that would be bearish and probably mean that we'll see a break of this weekly uptrend and continuation lower. Yeah, but at the moment still intact the trade, and I let it run the 4-hour time frame, so one time frame lower. You can see that we had a huge sell-off on Friday. At the moment, not quite have seen here a lower low, so this is still intact, and let's let it room a little bit to breathe to continue higher, maybe a little more consolidation here and then new all-time highs, or we see my stop loss getting hit. The last indicator would be a loss of this low here. If we lose that to the downside, I don't really want to be in any long trade on the S&P 500 index, and we have to wait and see if we see really a break of the long-term trend or setting back a low or setting up a new support area, and from there on continuing the long-term trend. I keep you, like always, updated. That's it for S&P 500 index. Let's switch to US oil. Yeah, US oil weekly long term, we have seen a break of the monthly downtrend to the upside. Since then, moving inside a weekly consolidation, went into a triangle formation, have seen a breakout to the lower side, a retest, but then we haven't been able to see new lows. Instead, we broke this triangle downtrend to the upside, got rejected, and are correcting at the moment, and are in the area of this high valuable structure with a lot of support. But for more details, let's drop down to the daily time frame. Here you can see the breakout of the weekly downtrend line, a correction. We found some support here around this daily support area. But yeah, like you can see, it seems like price wants to break down lower. On the 4-hour time frame, you can see my trading idea, or one I executed, because we had here this 4-hour downtrend line, a break to the upside, a correction, then I was setting up a trade. If we see this correction broken to the upside, I will enter a long trade position, and the stop loss would be below this corrective movement. I was setting up this trade. The trade got triggered by a pip or so it was really unlucky. Price turned against me and hit my stop loss. I was losing, if you look here back in the account history, yeah, nearly $600 or 0.5% of the account balance. Pretty sad, and it seems like we would exceed this lows here and continue the downtrend. We will see if there is a trading opportunity to the lower side, but because we have here a lot of price structure, I don't think that it will be really clear to define here a take profit area. So I probably stay out of this market the next week. That's it for US oil. Next, gold. Yeah, gold here at the weekly time frame looks much better than US oil. After a couple of times testing this area, we have been finally able to break the $2,100 mark to the upside. Since then, we stayed in this long-term uptrend here. Impulses higher, small corrections lower. And yeah, I was trading the breakout of this correction to the upside at the moment in a long trade. If we drop down to the daily time frame, you can see it in more detail. Daily white solid uptrend line intact. We see here the entry point of my long trade, stop loss below this support area on the daily. I already moved my stop loss to my entry level, so the trade is now risk-free. MACD seems to cross to the downside, so that could be a bearish sign in for correction inside this overall uptrend. can see here the white dotted secondary daily uptrend is also still intact. Maybe we'll see only a correction down to that level. But because I don't want it to lose too much of my already gained profits, I was selling 6 of my 13 contracts in gold I had in my long position. So nearly half of my position I sold, and that was a plus in the account balance of 1% or $1,000 I saved here, and the rest runs now risk-free. I don't think that the pullback will go that low that I will get stopped out here out of my position, but price is definitely in. Like you can see here also at a short time frame divergence to MACD, that there's probably the time for a correction and then continuation of the uptrend. That's it for gold. I stay bullish at the moment with half of my position, and the rest we will have to see what the market does with that. But one final word to gold. I was surprised that gold was holding so good in comparison to the rest of the market, while S&P 500 and Bitcoin, etc. tanked to the downside. Gold stayed stable ahead. That's a bullish thing, I would say. That's it for gold. Let's switch last but not least to Bitcoin against the US dollar. So Bitcoin against the US dollar on the weekly time frame. So each candle represents 1 week of a price action. MACD turned to the downside, so we are in for a correction. I think we can see that with the naked eye already. So far, I think maybe the low of this correction is already in, and we see some sideways movement before we see the next leg pulling again up and continuing this uptrend in this cycle. Yeah. If we drop down one time frame lower to the daily, you can see that the white solid uptrend line is still intact. We can discuss about the location of that one because I was using these 2 points, and we can see that here the time frame was a little bit violated to the downside, so you could adjust that, and yeah, that would give us a little bit more time to breathe for the uptrend. At the moment, I will let it stay like that. We'll see. And yeah, we are in this sideways consolidation right now. We had here an ABC pattern, a downtrend, a broken downtrend to the upside, a new all-time high, and then another ABC pattern. You can see it later better at the 4-hour time frame, and then a lot of sideways movement. For my taste, I would like to see either a test of this daily uptrend line in combination with this lower zone. That would be probably shake out a lot of people with weak hands. Before then we continue the overall uptrend would be a common thing for Bitcoin at least. And maybe if we drop slightly below this line, don't panic directly. The uptrend is broken, yes, but maybe you can just move this daily uptrend line a little bit to this point, and then it's still fine and not broken yet. I think you shouldn't panic because we dip slightly below this daily support zone here, but it should get bought pretty quickly, and the retest shouldn't get broken then to the lower side. I think it's time for a new impulse to the upside. I would like to buy this new impulse to the upside after we've seen a break of this 4-hour downtrend line in combination with this support or resistance area at the moment. If we drop down to the 4-hour time frame, you can see it a little bit more in detail. Here, price went higher and got perfectly rejected around the 200 moving average in combination with this 4-hour downtrend line and tanked lower, but stayed in the range. So sideways movement, nothing to do last week with Bitcoin. Maybe we'll see this week the breakout, or maybe it takes a couple of weeks. Again, for that, we wait and see. We are reactive, not predictive in the market, and then everything should be fine. But I only want to trade bullish here, so long, not short, because I think Bitcoin is ahead for a new bullish massive move to the upside like we have seen it before. That's it for Bitcoin and my opinion. Trade after you made your own research, and then you hear and see me next weekend again. Bye bye.